Action.
Cool. Welcome back, everybody, to Santa Fe Fashion Week's YouTube channel. If we haven't met before, I'm Stephen Cuomo, executive producer of Santa Fe Fashion Week. And Eliot and I have been friends for quite some time now, and he's brought me on to be a guest for his radio show.
Yeah.
And it's about bridal, and so I thought I'd bring you in as we record this episode. So, Eliot, can you tell us a little bit about your show?
Yeah, we broadcast every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, noon on the East Coast, and it's called The Wedding Show. I'm Eliot, and I have a sidekick on the East Coast. Her name is Kat, so it's Wedding Show with Kat and Eliot. And it's a weekly show, and we're introducing brides and grooms to the whole workings of how to put together a wedding. If they need help, they'll give us a call. We have some pros on like you talking about fashion, talking about officiates, the whole thing, photographers, wedding favors. And outside of that show, you also have done some of the podcasts with us. We do a local New Mexico bit, and we broadcast all over the world, but we kind of try to aim for little regions at a time. So Stephen's been kind enough to give us a hand on multiple occasions.
Well, I'm glad to be a part of it. So what I'll do is we'll put a link to this episode so you can see the full, or you can listen to the full episode. So, and I'll put a link below, like I said.
Yes.
So let's jump right into it.
Yeah, let me tell everybody where to find us. It's the TTT Radio Network, so it's TTT Radio Network worldwide.com. What I suggest you guys do is get the app, ttrn.com. You press your app, and you hook up with us immediately.
Sounds great. Cool. Well, you'll take it from here.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to Stephen today because Stephen has agreed to do our fashion part of our show weekly, and last week it was our maiden voyage, so to speak. So this is week 2. We have to get serious this week.
Yes.
And I know you've been doing your homework.
Yes. I posted on Facebook. I was actually reading some bridal magazines at the bookstore, so
Yes.
I'm trying to get my skills together about weddings.
Where are we going fashion-wise with weddings?
Well, it's interesting. So what I was reading in this magazine, the big thing now is winter weddings.
Right.
Okay. And so it's interesting because for Santa Fe Fashion Week, when you're working under a budget, I think early on with Santa Fe Fashion Week, we would do the shows in November because you could book the rental space cheaper at the hotels and the convention center because you're not competing with other weddings. Photographers, they want work, and DJs and stuff like that. So this whole article was about winter weddings.
Okay.
And so with that said, with winter weddings, you're still going to do typically a white wedding dress, but you're going to bring in some of the fall and winter colors, be it with your flowers and things of that nature.
Now, I was on our first episode, we had Shia Lucero on with us, who runs a florist off of Earth Sky Florist, and she's Native American, and what she kind of was trying to get across to us was during the pandemic now, you can't get all of the, there's a shortage of flowers. So what she suggests the brides to do, instead of ordering a certain type of flower, give her your colors.
Okay.
And they'll find a way to make the colors work. It may not be red roses, but it'll be a red something, that kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, it's something else to think about. But so fashions, again, it is white, I know, but outside of that, how about grooms? Everybody always forgets about the grooms. What do you?
Well, and again, in this article, and going back to a winter wedding, it's oops.
No.
Oh, okay. So going back to winter weddings, I mean, they talk about having like blankets and stuff like that, so people could be warm,
Right.
and then even more of a wool type tux and things like that. Well, I thought it was really interesting too to talk about the whole having difficulty finding flowers. They were talking about 6 months out to order a wedding dress, and it was funny because there's this one article I thought, or actually it was a YouTube vlog. And this lady was taking us along for their shopping for her bridal dress, and she's like, her boyfriend hadn't even proposed to her yet, and she's like, well, I feel like he's gonna propose to me, so I really want to get this wedding dress out of the way. And I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting. Wow. So hopefully I didn't follow up and see if she got married, but she's like, yeah, I gotta get the wedding dress out of the way because I feel like proposals coming along. So
Now, this may be off the topic a bit. You're on all the social medias, all the platforms. Is there any one that drives your ideas further than any of the others? Are there any?
well, again, I mean, I use YouTube a lot and Facebook and LinkedIn.
Right.
You know, LinkedIn obviously for business and stuff like that.
Sure.
But going back to this article I was reading, you know, a lot of women will use Pinterest to find, they're looking online, and some people still use the bridal magazines, but I think Pinterest and some of the other social media platforms still get ideas for different wedding dresses. So when
Right.
they actually go to the stores, they have a concept of what they want. And then I just did a vlog a couple of days ago about New Mexico being a destination wedding. And what's interesting about that is if you go up to Santa Fe, there's only 1 or 2 bridal stores even left, because what happens with a destination wedding place, people are buying their wedding dresses where they live and bringing them out here, so they're buying their tuxes. Sometimes my friend Justin just got married, and they were from California, and to rent the tuxes here in New Mexico was a lot less expensive.
Right.
So they got their fittings and everything in California and in Vegas, and then they picked up the tuxes. But as far as the bridal business here, to buy a wedding dress is pretty tough.
Wow.
For those
Didn't
people.
think about that. Yeah, destination weddings. Everything comes with it. Now, I'm actually booked to do a couple of weddings. We have a DJ company as well in Vegas. I'm going to Vegas to do a couple of shows. Not shows, actual weddings.
Right.
And same thing. What I'm doing is I'll bring my mixers that I'm comfortable with. I'll bring my laptops. Everything else I'm going to rent on the other side. It's cheaper to rent it than to have to ship it and everything
Yeah,
else.
so you can pick it up on the other end. You can pick it up on the
So
other
yeah,
end.
so that's what we're doing. And I think I told you, I don't know if you were, yeah, I think I told you, we actually have done weddings via Zoom.
Yeah, you were saying Zoom
We
last
have
time.
done Zoom weddings. I did one in Florida. It was a small wedding, 10, 20 people due to the pandemic. And this happened to be for a relative of mine, and she said, please come. And so I can't get to Florida. So did it via Zoom.
Wow.
Worked out great, and I think that's the future of weddings. It's, at least until this whole nightmare is over.
Right.
So outside of that, is there any type of, I think we spoke about futuristic fashions coming back into play.
Right. Well,
Space and things like that.
right. Well, this whole, this space race between Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and so people are looking at the, I don't know if it's the final frontier or whatnot, but how will that drive fashion
Right.
going forward, and events and
Yep.
theme type weddings. And so space can have a space travel and space tourism and all these things they're talking about.
Right.
Definitely, I think it influenced fashion and events going forward.
And it did in the 60s.
Yeah.
There was a whole, the Jetsons. That was the whole thing. And I'm a little pissed off. When I was a kid, they promised me I'd be in a flying car by now.
Yeah, we're getting close.
We are getting close.
We are getting close.
I remember going to the World's Fair of New York, and everything was, it was all about the 2000s. So it would be great if that's the case, because we haven't had a big style kick in a while.
Well, a few years ago, you're starting to see like that silver,
Yeah.
women's boots were, that galactic silver. You're starting to see that on the runway, and I forget that the astronaut, and he was actually the famous astronaut was doing a runway show, and yeah, it was definitely space inspired.
I have a silver sports jacket. I have a silver blazer.
It's got to be back. It's
Yeah,
coming back. It's coming back.
I have it ready to go. I was going to wear it today, but Laura said, too fancy.
Too fancy, too fancy. Well, you look just fine. You look just fine.
So, I'm ready. So we talking about the wedding show that we're doing on the radio. If anybody's out there and has any questions, if you want to get a hold of Stephen and you can't find him, I'm sure you'll be able to find him. Just in case,
Yes.
give us yell out to us. We know how to guide you over to him. And if there's any vendors out there that are interested in joining us, we'd love to talk to you. I'll be doing more of these with Stephen. You can meet us down here, I think, if you'd like.
Yeah, we could definitely do it here at my office, where Santa Fe Fashio's
Yeah.
eBay store space. And if you're watching us on YouTube, obviously you can reach out if you have any questions. I could pass them on to Eliot.
Yeah, and again, we could do it via phone, via Zoom. We could do it here. If any vendors out there have gowns or anything to show, bring them into Stephen. He's the guy to help you out with that. He has models here. He has The lighting, everything is perfect here for studio work. And I think this is the year. I think this is the year we're
Yeah.
going to creep out of it.
Yeah, I think so.
I know I feel good about it. I've spoken to dozens of people, and for some reason, 2022 is the year that everybody's was waiting for it, and here we are. So let's get it going.
Well, I'm excited about being part of your show, and
I'm excited having you here.
fantastic.
And you have a great crew here.
Yeah, we got David behind the camera here.
David behind the camera.
And so we're going to jump into scene studies after this. And
Yes. Well, my friend, I'll see you next week, one way or the other.
This
And
fun.
yeah, and I just want to thank everybody for listening. And remember, Stephen Cuomo, Fashion Week, Santa Fe Fashion Week, he's the man to speak to. If anybody's out there doing any kind of designs or anything that is interested, it doesn't have to be weddings. Stephen does it all. In fact, he does more not wedding than wedding.
Right. I definitely specialize in fashion events.
So, he's the guy to talk to. And again, you can't find Stephen, come to me and I'll guide you in the right
Yeah.
direction.
And like I said, on YouTube, it's Santa Fe Fashion Week on YouTube, Instagram, Santa Fe Fashion Week NM.
Yep.
So easy to find me.
Okay, my friends, we'll be back with Kat in just a few moments, and hope everybody's safe and enjoying the show.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this segment of Santa Fe Fashion Week's YouTube channel.
Wait a second, put your headphones back on.
Hang on a second. And we'll see you next time for our scene studies. Thanks.
Yeah, okay, cool. Get them back on.
Okay.
Let's
That's good.
see if we can do this.
Cut?
Yeah.